introduce yourself and your players and make a comment about the game.
Miguel Menendez, head baseball coach at Jesuit. We got Henry Police, Nick Rodriguez, Josh Mallitz, Cole Russo, BJ Graham, and my son Jackson, again, a good luck charm. A dogfight, what you expect in a state championship game, and I think we the nerves maybe got to us a little bit early, but we settled in and guys kept playing, and I thought our pitching pitching has been a strong suit for us all year long. I thought Justin did a great job. Probably a little unfortunate that we gave it the one-on-one run there in the first, and I think we kind of pressed a little bit offensively early because of that. But their guy, Dominic there, Pinheiro, did a great job keeping us off balance, threw the fastball up in the zone and threw change-ups and breaking balls down and away, and just kept us off balance and kind of pitched us backwards. And honestly, they brought the lefty in, and I was kind of happy, which seems kind of strange to say considering all the left-handed guys we have in our lineup. But we faced a left-hander every play. We talked about yesterday. We faced a left-handed pitcher, started against us in every playoff game so far. So I think it was old hat for our guys, and we found a way to get a couple big base hits there. And BJ, BJ got the big knock to kind of break the seal open, and then Cole, the clutch guy he's been all year, just like he was at Jefferson, like he was again today, gets another big base hit, and then Hank follows up with another big 2-out base hit. So again, just tacking those runs on. At the time, you think maybe 2 might be enough, and then obviously as we saw those couple tack-on runs that Hank got, and then Nick Rod in the bottom of the 6th, those turned out to be huge runs that let us come in and pitch with a lead and in a more comfortable lead. And Josh did a great job, and then Turner again on the back end. I mean, we couldn't have drew it out any better than what we had, and we had the guys we wanted on the mound in both games, and it worked out perfectly for us. So I can tell you it's a much better feeling being in this press conference this year than it was 2 years ago, Jay, just to talk about that. So
Cole, can you talk about that, winning that lefty-lefty challenge there?
Yeah, I was just trying to find a fastball that I can drive. I knew he was living low in the count, and I just tried to drive a fastball, and I hit it between the first, second base hole, and it was really exciting. It was good.
Can you build off what your coach said there? I mean, when you see a lefty come in, obviously it's not something you would get super excited about, but a change in pitching, were you excited about that?
Exactly, yeah. He was throwing a lot of fastballs, and I've been good with lefties all year, and he threw one into me, and I got a hold of it. It was nice.
BJ, you've been on fire. Can you talk to me about what you've been doing at the plate and what you've done the last 2 games?
So my approach changed actually because I noticed people want to throw me outside a lot, so I kind of backed off or scooted onto the plate, and I was able to drive a lot of balls. Guys don't really throw me inside because I'm a kind of a pull hitter, so they try to stay away. But obviously, I've been driving the ball that way.
What does it feel when you make an adjustment like that in a big game like this and it pays off? I mean, it's got to be very rewarding.
Well, it looked like it's been easy, but it's actually very hard because my whole life I've been a pull hitter, as I said. But staying in the cage, working the tee outside, living away, that really helped my game.
Coach, you guys started the season going down to South Florida, playing in the HSBN pre-pitch Classic. You beat 3 of the top teams in that area in a hostile environment. Did you maybe get a sense at that point that, this is a year that may end where you guys are now?
I mean, obviously, my son's looking at me because he told me back after that we were going to win the state championship this year. So I got to make sure I plug him on that because he was, I think, the first one to call it. But I've had a really good feel for this team. I'll be honest with you, it goes back to last summer. After we lost to Jefferson the way it happened, that we had a group of guys that came in, and I know we don't have any of the seniors in here, but we had a bunch of those core senior guys that came in, and we did, I'm just going to sound a little corny and maybe a Jesuit thing, but we had book club where we had meetings like every couple weeks, and I gave them a couple different books to read. We read some. I'm a big motivational quote guy, and John Gordon, who's a great guy, and we read a couple of his books. We talked How to Win in a Locker Room. We read Jay Billis' Toughness, and we just pulled out things, and we tried to look and say, what do we want to see as a team, as a group, as a culture? What do we want this program? You guys are the seniors. What do you want to leave this program? How do you want to leave your legacy here? And it wasn't just the seniors. We had some of those key guys, rising juniors that were coming, like Bennett Lee and Cannon Manassi, Alex Ryan, and some of those guys. And they really bought in, and you could just see, they didn't just, hey, it's summer, coach is making me read a book. Like, what are we doing here? They came in with, I think they had more notes than I had. So it was just exciting to see, and you could just see, I think, from that point to the first day of fall. But I think obviously when we open up the season down there and you play, Westminster Christian, and I know me and those guys, I played them when I was at Key West all the time, and to go out there and play and throw a one-hit shutout against those guys, the way those guys swing the bat, and then to come back and pace down 8-1 and score 8 runs to win 9-8, and then beat a very good North Broward Prep team to kind of go 3-0. It's like this team maybe's got a chance to do something special and be special. And the big thing for these guys, I think, and for the team as a whole, is that they've never been satisfied. Like, this was always part of the journey. This is what they wanted to do. They knew this is where they wanted to be, and I'm just happy for them. Like I try to tell them all the time. I mean, I'm excited. Obviously, everybody loves to win, but I've won as a player. I want these guys to experience what they just got to experience. I got to experience as a player. So for me, I'm just glad that these guys get a chance to experience, and those seniors get a chance to go out winning their last game and celebrate and get a ring.
Nick, we talked about it yesterday, going from JV to being the leadoff hitter in the state semifinal. Now you've driven in what turned out to be the winning run in the state final. Okay, what has that done to the shock you had yesterday?
I mean, it's just every time I get up, I try to not do too much and just do what I'm capable of doing and not doing more than I can do. And somehow the ball got in between third base and the third base line, and I tried to make it a triple, but it didn't really work out.
Sorry, we won't talk about the base running part of that. It's okay.
But I don't know. It's crazy to think about that. I didn't even start the year on the team, and now I'm had one of the winning RBIs in the state championship game. But
Hank, did you talk to him after he came back in the dugout about how you get a triple?
No, because I've only done it once. Coach, you mentioned some of the seniors, and I got to point out a guy that's not in the room, Jimmy Clifford. I mean, you lose a guy like Bennett Lee, one of the best catchers around, and he comes in and does such a great job with a phenomenal pitching staff. I mean, not many people. There's just not many guys that could do the job he did. No, just talk about him.
Jimmy, and I said it when it happened. I told my wife because everybody was a little bummed out. I think obviously you lose arguably your best player, or at least the guy who was having the best year offensively at the time. That's a huge blow. He's like I said yesterday. I think he's one of the best top defensive catchers in the state of Florida, if not the country. So it's not easy. But we have a guy in Jimmy who caught a lot this year. He's the smartest guy on the team. That helps, but he just, I thought it was poetic, and for him to, even more so that we struck the last guy out, that he ended up catching the last pitch to end the game, I think was very fitting, and again, a fitting tribute to kind of the senior class. I think sometimes gets overlooked because we have so many quality young guys, but these seniors are the guys that really showed and led the way, and just they wanted to win, and they were unselfish, and they were great teammates all year long, and it allowed, they didn't care, they didn't care who got the credit. They didn't care that these guys, maybe young guys, were playing in front of them. They just wanted to win and be successful, and I was glad to see them be able to go out like that.
Josh is kind of the representative of the pitching staff in today's game. When you talk about what Justin did to start the game, and your role to come in there and keep things going, keep things close.
Yeah, so I was talking to our pitching coach, Coach Tolberg, and he said just throw strikes. They were getting themselves out. I just got to stay ahead of the count. That's big for me. I just try to pound the strike zone, let the hitters get out. I was commanding good with my off speed, so that was a plus for me. They were missing a lot of the two seams, change-ups. They weren't able to hit outside pitches too well. Actually, I mean, they were hitting the two seam pretty well, but off-speed pitches outside they couldn't hit, so I knew to attack the strike zone with outside off-speed.
Henry, I know this is a huge celebration moment, and your coach has talked about the seniors on this team. But when you look across here and realize that it's all underclassmen, how do you feel about the what you did now and what you could possibly do in the future?
I think it's very exciting. I mean, I think it shows that I think this is just the beginning. I think for years to come, we've got the sophomore class, current sophomores, BJ, Cole, and the rest of them, Nick, I didn't forget you. And then we're really, really talented, and then we have really good freshmen as well with AJ Nestler and some guys that can throw hard. So I mean, I think this is just the beginning. I think that we're going to be very good for a long time.
Miguel, you guys have come up here. Sorry, you guys have come up here with some good teams through the years that real talented that didn't get it done. And we talked yesterday about you guys being 5 outs away against McCarthy a few years ago. Today you're 5 outs away again, and it was going through my mind when they scored the run. What were you guys thinking, and what was the difference of how you guys were able to finish it this year?
I think for me, I think being in that experience probably helped me to kind of relax and try to keep these guys relaxed. Like I said, I could just feel like the tension early was not what it's normally been, and just you could just see kind of, I think, the pressure of the moment at the time was getting to us a little bit, and I think falling behind right away probably played a role in that. And they did a great job. I mean, they pitched us well, and we had some opportunities and didn't quite get that big base hit, but that happens. But I think for me, like I told every time, like our guys kept getting flustered a little bit or frustrated, I'm like, guys, if it was always going to be so easy, it wouldn't be as much fun, right? Just relax and enjoy it. It's part of the journey, right? If it's meant to be, it's going to happen. If not, it's fine. I think I told Cole this because he was jacked up before he went up there and hit. I'm like, if the worst thing that happens is we lose if the worst thing that ever happens in your life is you lose this baseball game, is that such a bad life? Like, no, it's not. So, like, enjoy it. Like, I know, and then trust me, I'm as competitive as they come. I will put my competitiveness up there with anybody on the planet. But at the end of the day, like, it's still a baseball game. It's still high school baseball. I respect the heck out of those guys over there. They play their butts off. I mean, I hate that. I mean, even going back to the Jefferson game, I hated that one of those teams had to lose. And today kind of the same thing. I mean, trust me, I'm happy we won. But, I mean, I hate that either side's got to experience that losing, that feeling. And it doesn't take away what anybody does. And win or lose, it wasn't going to take away what these guys accomplished this year. It's just, like I said, for them, I want them to be able to experience and know what this feels like. And because I know how hard they work. And everybody works hard. And everybody busts their butt and do what they need to do. But I'm just proud of what they were able to handle and do.
Coach, you mentioned go ahead.
Now let this guy go here.
You said you were a motivational quote guy. Was there a motivational quote before this game?
There was. I just told them. I told them, actually, in Cole, the last couple, since the Jefferson game, we've had a quote up. Muhammad, you want to say it?
I don't remember.
Nah, you don't want to
It's
say it.
like, I think I remember. It's like,
Okay.
if to be a champion, you have to believe you're a champion. And if not, you have to pretend that you're a champion.
Muhammad Ali quote. So we've had that up since, I believe the Jefferson game.
Yeah.
Cole gave it to me, and I've just kind of kept it and hung it up in there. But before the game, like, I just try to tell them, have fun, obviously relax. But at the end of the day, I told them, like, all you got to do is go out and win one baseball game. How many times have we won? How many times in your life have you won a baseball game? Like, don't make it more than what it is. Just relax and play. And I really didn't go too much. I didn't, I felt like they were ready. I didn't want to, like, I'm not a big speech guy before games. Like, I like to let them play and go, and I'll do my things maybe before practice, or I'll hang up my motivational quotes and things of that nature. So I didn't really give them anything really big. I just try to leave that impression on them.
Coach, you mentioned Jefferson before, and obviously you play another team that was 19 miles away from you guys. Plant City wins the state championship playing against Crest. All you guys were there last night. There was a couple Jefferson guys there supporting Lato. Just talk about baseball in the Bay Area. You're a guy that's seen baseball pretty much all over the state. Just talk about how special it is to have 4 teams down here and just the support and the love that everybody has for each other.
It's special. I mean, and we talked going back down to Miami. Like, I told our guys, like, hey, listen, like, I have a ton of respect for the baseball in that Miami area because I lived it all the time, and it's a different animal maybe than what Tampa is. But Tampa is, I think, sometimes just gets overlooked for whatever. I get overlooked may be the wrong word, but I don't think people always associate Tampa with great baseball for whatever reason. I don't know, in high school, like, I don't know. I just feel like it just doesn't get carry the same cachet as maybe some other spots. But I mean, I think you've seen it this year. You see it. I mean, I know for us, like, in our district, just in our district itself, we've been in the Final Four. Somebody from our district is represented in the Final Four, well, every year since I've been here, so that's 5 years in a row. You look at King and Gaither and those guys, and Lato the last couple of years, that district's have somebody every year. Like, it's Steinbrenner and Plant City and those guys have represented them. You had a team, I mean, look at as good as Plant City was, and they dominated here. Plant had them on the ropes. You had a team in Sickles who lost and threw a no-hitter with probably one of the most talented teams in the area, if not the most talented team in the area. I mean, I'll put our guys up with anybody, don't get me wrong. But, I mean, it goes to show you the depth of the talent in our area, and it's spread out amongst so many schools. And it's a lot of public schools, too. It's not just the private schools or the charter schools. It's a lot of the public schools in the area that carry the banner and do a great job.
Any more questions? Thank you, guys.
Congratulations.
Thank you.
Thank you.